Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Be Quranic. Today is Tuesday, the 26th of Sha'ban, 1446 Hijrah. That means Ramadan is just a few days away. We are just a few days away from the month of the Quran. Today, Tajweed Tuesday, let's learn to purify our Quranic recitation to prepare ourselves to welcome the coming of this blessed month, the month of the Quran. Let's recap what we have done in our previous weeks. We've looked into the meaning of Tajweed. It means to purify our recitation by knowing the rules of the letters, how we recite each letters individually, and what happens when they combine or they meet certain letters, and knowing the points of waqaf, how to stop and how to restart our recitation without affecting the divine meaning of the ayat that we are reciting. We've also looked into the different types of errors in reciting the Quran. You've got one we call lahan jali, the major errors, which changes the meaning of our recitation. And this is paramount for us to know and avoid at all cost. And then we have lahan khafi. Lahan khafi are minor errors that do not change the meaning of our recitation. We've also looked into mad asli, and this is foundational mad, the foundational elongation, and the letters of mad are alif, waw, and ya. The formula is nuhiha, waw sukun with a dhammah before it, ya sakin with a kasra before it, or alif with a fathah before it. Nuhiha. 2 harakat, we lengthen it at the length of 2 harakat. And this, as I've mentioned, changes the meaning. And the example we looked at is la tadhhab as opposed to la tadhhab. La tadhhab. The elongation of the la means do not go. But when we shorten it, la tadhhab means you will surely go. We've also looked into wajibul ghunnah. Ghunnah is the nasal sound that we make, and that is produced when we recite the letters noon and or meme. And wajibul ghunnah is when noon or meme has a shadda sign on top of it. We read it with the nasal sound that comes from the nasal cavity, and we elongate it for 2 harakat. Inna, thumma. Alright, those are the tajweed rules that we're looking into, mad asli and wajibul ghunnah. Today, inshallah, we're going to look into a new rule. The rule that we're going to look into today is nun sakin and tanween. Nun sakin and tanween, the rules are the same, because in tanween you have a hidden nun sakin. For instance, if you say kitabun, the un at the end, there is a noon sound, bun sound at the end. So nun sakin and tanween, the rules are the same. If you are using the Medina Mus'haf, you will find that nun sakin and tanween are written with 3 different ways. The first one is written with apparent nun sakin, or the tanween will be aligned. And then you have the non-apparent nun sakin, or the tanween is not aligned. The third one is a small meme. So you see it being written with a small meme. We're going to explore this one by one. Don't worry about it. Apparent nun sakin is when you see a noon with a sukun sign on top of it. You see that sakin, the sukun sign. Or you see the tanween, they are aligned. An example of an apparent nun sakin as opposed to non-apparent nun sakin. Alright, you look at this ayah. Min adhabin. You see the noon on the noon sakin, the sukun sign is clearly written on top of the noon. As opposed to this noon sakin. This noon sakin has no sign on top of it. We know it is a sukun, it is a noon sakin, but you don't see the sukun sign on top of it. So this is an apparent noon sakin, this is a non-apparent noon sakin. What about the tanween? The one that I say aligned and non-aligned tanween. Look at the tanween here. The tanween here, if you look closely, you see that it is aligned. The starting point and the ending point of the 2 tanweens are exactly the same. That is an aligned tanween, and they are the same. The apparent nun sakin and the aligned tanween, they are the same. And then we have the non-aligned tanween. Look at this tanween now. Look at this one. Alright, you will find that the starting point of both is not the same. So this is the same like the non-apparent nun sakin. These are two of the three ways nun sakin is written in the Medina Mus'haf. With the apparent or the clear nun sakin and the aligned tanween, the letters are, so now if you are using any other Mus'haf other than the Medina system, which may not differentiate the nun sakin apparent and non-apparent, you need to know the letters. So the rule, when you see a clear nun sakin, it is called Izhar halqi or Izhar haqiqi. Either way is correct. Or sometimes people just call it as Izhar. And what are the letters of Izhar? The letters of Izhar are the letters of the throat. And they are Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ain, Ha, and Ghain, Kha. These are the letters. So if you are using a Mus'haf that is not written based on the Medina system, they may not differentiate the apparent nun sakin and non-apparent nun sakin. You will have sukun sign on all nun sakin. You will need to know the alphabets. So if a nun sakin meets the letter Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, or Kha. Alright, let me just replace this. Ghain or Kha. Then you read it clear. Izhar means clear. Izhar means clear. That means there is no ghunna. Let's look at an example. Man amana. The noon must be clear. You cannot have any ghunna. Man amana. No, it's man amana. Man amana. So this is Izhar halqi or Izhar haqiqi, clear nun sakin or tanween. We're going to point this out when we find them in the ayat that we are going to read. Now let's get on to our reading ayat of the week, ayat number 17 until ayat 25 of Surah Al-Rahman. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم رب المشرقين ورب المغربين. Now مغربين, bain, this one is what we call madleen. This is a soft mud because harakat in Arabic is either up, down or forward. A, E, U. A, E, U. Alright, now this is not A, not E, not U. This is A. A. So this is a softer sound. When you stop at the end of the ayah or at the end of your recitation and then you have an ain sound, you elongate it either 2, 4 or 6 harakat. This mad must not be longer than mad arid al-sukun. And since we do mad arid al-sukun in this program 4 harakat, you can either read this with 2 or 4. But if you choose to read it 2, be consistent. All madleen that you encounter, you read it with 2. If you're reading it with 4, then be consistent. You read all of it with 4. رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. Alright, is mad. This is not mad asli. This is actually called mad badal to be technical. But for now, just treat it like a mad asli. We read it with 2 harakat. Ala. We see this long mad, 4 harakat. Rabbikuma, mad asli. Tukadhiban. This is mad arid sukun, 4 harakat. مرج البحرين يلتقيان. Bahrain. Now, if you were to stop at Bahrain, then it becomes mad lean, the soft mad. مرج البحرين. But because we're not stopping, then there is no mad there. مرج البحرين يلتقيان. 4 harakat. بينهما. ما is mad asli. برزخ. Look at the tanween here. This is a 99 tanween. That means it's a merging tanween. A merging tanween merges with the next letter lam. Is lam part of yarmalun? Yes. Ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, nun. These 6 letters means it's a total merger, complete merger. When it's a complete merger, the sound of the nun in the tanween disappears. You straight away go to lam. And because this is lam, so from the yarmalun, if it's lam or ra, there is no ghunna. If it's ya, waw, mim, noon, it's total merger with ghunna. Lam, ra, total merger, no ghunna. برزخ لا يبغيان برزخ لا قلقلة يبغيان مد عارض السكون فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان. The only tajweed rule here that we are concerned with is mad عارض السكون at the end. مرجان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار مد أصلي وله الجوار this noon Sakin. Look at the noon Sakin. There is no sign on top of it. That means this is a merging noon. It's the letter next to it. Yarmalun. No, it's Sheen. Sheen. It means it's a partial merger. The shape there. منشأ again that two حركات في البحر كالأعلام مد عارض للسكون فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. Alright, that is 17 to 25 and those are the ayat of this week. Practice it, try and read it with the best makhraj possible, requires practice, and then be mindful and be aware of the tajweed rules. See you on Thursday for the tafsir on Tafsir Thursday.